So welcome back. Today I'm going to have a quick look at my friend's sweet pea. He's brought it round, his timing's not quite set right and he's not sure how to best go about setting it. So he's just turned up, let's go and take a look at it. Here it is. So first things first, we'll get it out onto the trolley and get it in the workshop. So we're on the trolley, setting the cover off and just rolling it along with it in forward gear. We can look at when the port's open and see if that's at the right point of the wheel. We can do that on both sides and just see how it looks. So we're in forward gear. I've rolled it until the valve port is just starting to show. There's a little hairline there. And that is quite a bit before centres. So we need to go to the forward centre and discover if that's also before centres, at which point it will be a return crank movement, or if it's after centres, in which case it will be a valve movement. So I'll get back to you when I've found the port. So we've moved to forward centres, or at least to the valve port opening on forward centres. It's just starting to open there. And we are just after centres now. Probably a little less after than we were before on the other side. But one was before centres, one was after centres. So most likely an issue with the position of the valve. On this engine, there's a locking nut either side of the valve drive block. So we just need to slacken this one and tighten that one to shuffle the valve forward. So with that port just opening, we are pretty much on centres. Then as we move forward until the other port is just opening. Touch too far there. That's close enough to get an idea. We are pretty much on centres. However, as we move, that valve is now hitting the back of the valve chest, which is probably where the reason for it being set forward. So the solution will be for that valve chest to come off and a little bit to be taken out of that cover to allow more space for the valve, or always run notched up. So with the valve fully adjusted, it hit the back of the valve chest. So just setting up in the middle, and we're just going to give it a bit of relief. Let's take a look. So it's this end, and we figured it out. It wanted about 70 thou, so I'll go 80. Relief here, and I'm just going to go a little bit deeper than the flange on the back of the valve. So I'll put a cutter in, we'll get it all touching, and then we'll move over. And there it is, pocket machined out for the valve to slide underneath in service. Let's go and try it on the engine, after we've cleaned it up obviously. So having allowed the valve to move further back, the nuts that stop it moving were also in need of being thinned, or the back one was as well. So I've just had that in the lathe and taken a couple of mil off of it to match what we've taken off the valve chest just at the bottom. Maybe in hindsight, having now taken all of this out, it would have been easy just to take a bit out of the whole chest. But this is where we're at. So this can go back together now, and then we can reset the timing again. So we've now got it all set back up. It's going set up just right as we had it before, and it looks like it should run perfectly in forward gear. In reverse, it's not quite right, but we think that's because the springs are quite tight, so it's thrown off. The geometry between the axle and the expansion link is critical, and because it moves, that upsets the sweet pea. But we're set up for forward running when she's on the springs like this. So that's where we're going to leave her. It can go back to the owner, who can re-gasket and seal, and then when all the gaskets are tight and dry, it can then be put on air or steam to give it a proper test. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Kev's taken his engine back now. Maybe one day if we see it out on track, we'll get to do a feature video of it running and driving it. Hopefully at least let us know how it gets on. He's going to put it all back together, try it on air before he gets it to a club and puts a fire in it. But hopefully it should be a lot better. Something I didn't mention, but I did kind of make reference to, when you're setting up the valve gear on Sweet Pea specifically, it does apply to most engines, but to a lesser degree, because of the position of that die block being directly above the rear wheel that's got the return crank on it. The weight of the engine pushing down on the springing does make a difference to the timing. So if you're setting up a Sweet Pea, always make sure the weight's on the wheels, so it's at its normal running height, which is what we did today. I did think afterwards it didn't have water in it, so that will weigh it down a little bit more. If it struggles, then we'll adjust it again another day and fill it with water first. So there's a thought. And in fact, I would probably fill the boiler to running level and put the tanks to halfway, so that the middle of the tank is its optimum, and then one way or the other it gets better or it gets worse in either direction. So, but that would be minimal, hopefully. So yes, always, if you can, especially with a Sweet Pea. I know some people have modified the design so that bracket is suspended off the axle box, so that the whole thing moves together and maintains the timing. So yeah, it's just something worth remembering. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I've rambled for too long. I'm going to sit and have cuddles with my little girl. Say hello. And I will catch you again another day. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. It's incredible to think how many people are watching these videos. It is insane in my mind. So thanks very much, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.